Hi, this Miss Dee Dee from Cincinnati, Ohio, and the video I'm responding to is Life, and it was posted by Rick today. And the video hit close to home. Touched on a few subjects, and the reason why I was so urgent to respond is because that I live in a city where the crime rate is climbing like every day here. And 20 years ago, it was voted the best place to live, to raise a family. And what happened pretty much, and this is my theory, I could be wrong, when they brought in like Job Corps here and brought in a lot of different cities that was faster than us, um, people thought that it was exciting. Well, young kids, young teenagers thought that it was exciting that other city had gangs, the Bloods and the Crips and so on. And so they grasped to that. I mean, they grasped to it so fast, it wasn't even funny. And then it started to become a territorial thing and whatnot. Not to the fact, I'm like, I don't fear going anywhere really, or maybe because I'm used to the city and I'm pretty well known here. But it's the fact that I seen a lot of my co-workers, people that I went to junior high with, elementary school, high school, dead. I mean, so many, I can't even name them all. So many of them. I mean, from finding a good friend of mine's in a ditch. They still haven't found who killed him. A couple of my friends was randomly killed. I even had a cousin recently that was in high school and got gunned down in high school. He survived. And I also had a few close friends. Their children have been killed randomly, robbed. 16 years old, sneaking outside. AB student looked like he's a dope boy, trying to portray an image, wasn't. And a person killed him. A grown adult killed him. And what had happened is that he had mistaken him for being older than what he was. And he also called the funeral home and said, I didn't know he was a child. I'm like, what difference does it make if he was a child or a young adult or an older adult? You killed this person recklessly for nothing and robbed them for a pair of gym shoes and a jacket. You know, I just recently on my street alone had um, a murder right across the street. 17-year-old boy. Um, Nobody really know the whole story but them. Killed. Another person got charged with the murder. It was on the next 48 hours. Basically, he didn't get charged. He caught, I guess it was accessory to murder because he let the people in, and he got 10 years. And I mean, these people are not even 21 years old of age. And I mean, it's nonsense. And I hear people raising issues about stuff that's unimportant, or people want to sit back and complain about the crime rate and the dope boys and the drug dealers and the crackheads and the prostitutes. But then when it's a cry for help, no one has anything to say. Don't nobody ever see anything. Don't nobody know who committed the crime. You got people stay in their windows all day, every day, but they never see anything. And it's like, why sit here and complain? Why sit here and talk about what could have been done, or that's a shame, or why these kids out so late, or why is all these drugs here, if you're not going to do anything about it? If you're not going to do anything about it, I feel like you're like half the problem. You're not the solution to it. You're definitely not the solution to it. If you know, people need to network and get to know each other and become more of a neighborhood, a community here, and forget all the nonsense. They can sit here and go outside and talk about, oh, Miss Barbara over here sleeping with such and such, and her man's cheating on her, or she's ugly, or I can't believe she got this person. All of that nonsense, mediocre gossip that goes around. But no one's sitting here and saying, like, you know what? We need to start our own neighborhood watch. We need to look out for these kids. We need to tell these kids when we see them skipping school to call their parents and let them know what's going on. When you see these little girls ducked off around the building with these men, we need to get more involved that way. What could we do for our community? What kind of outreach programs could we bring in? Could we mentor? Could we be that mentor? We don't hear that no more. We don't hear that no more. We hear a bunch of BS all the time. We look outside our doors, we see a lot of BS all the time. You see people just open their cars, throw trash, but then they'll sit here and say, "Oh, this is a dirty street," or uh, "I can't believe it looked like this," but then you're not trying to do anything about it. And I agree. Why sit here and talk about it all the time? Sit here and just run your mouth about this and run your mouth about that instead of taking action. Like, people are scared to stand up for what's right. I mean, it's an insult. It's an insult. It's a culture. It's an insult on the city. It's an insult, period. It's terrible. We basically sitting ourselves back. What did our ancestors fight for? For us to sit back and just be mealy mouthed and act like we somewhat educated and talk about a lot of nonsense. We could talk about who doing drugs and who having sex, but what about talking about some real life issues? Like, what we gonna do as an individual? What actions we gonna take, starting with ourselves? Are we gonna be that person that lead by example? Or are we gonna take these young children and mentor them, or try to give them encouraging word to make it through the day? What is we gonna do? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna be in that another statistic poll? Am I gonna be trapped? Am I gonna dwell on the past, or am I gonna take action now? I mean, that's the stuff I want to hear about. That's the stuff I want to hear people talk about. I want to hear about things that's going to improve our future. Things that's going to improve our young children, our youth, our future, our vision. Because the way things are going now, there won't be no future. Our future will crumble. If we're not here to set a legacy and take a stand, and we're not going to lead by example, we're not going to show these youth behind us what to do, or try to educate them, not just on books, but I'm talking about on real life issues, then what are we doing? We're not living. We barely existence. In a minute, we're not going to exist at all, because we are slowly plundering. I mean, it's not just a race issue here. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's going on everywhere. Everywhere. I might be getting a little bit off the subject, or maybe seem a little angry. I'm not. I just want to share some light on some real life issues, some real life subjects that I feel that is important to me. I'm taking on responsibility that ain't mine. And you got people out here who don't even want to take care of their kids. You're hearing more and more people killing their children. Murder them. People need to take more responsibility nowadays. Forget all irrelevant. It's all cool to joke and laugh and whatever. I'm a very silly person too. But also, I'm looking at what's going to affect us in the long run. Stop looking at things in small frames and look at the big picture. That's what I'm trying to say. Give me some feedback on the subject. Bye.